saya ucapkan selamat datang untuk teman-teman yang baru saja hadir. Izin mengingatkan bahwa absen akan dilakukan sebanyak 2 kali dan absen yang terakhir akan diberikan saat rangkaian telah selesai. Untuk teman-teman yang baru saja datang juga nanti dimohon sampah makanan dan juga minumannya tidak ditinggalkan di dalam ruangan. Dan mungkin teman-teman yang di belakang diperbolehkan untuk mengisi bangku kosong yang ada di depan terlebih dahulu. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the International Conference of Public Administration and Governance 2024 with the theme Global Challenges and Local Solutions, Synergies between Public Administration, Library Science, Education, Social Science, and Life Science. Your Excellency, Rector of Universitas Brawijaya, Your Excellency, Dean of Faculty of Administrative Science, Universitas Brawijaya, the Honorable all the Vice Deans of Faculty of Administrative Science, Universitas Brawijaya, the Honorable Head of Public Administration Department, our respected invited speakers, professors, lecturers, and all the participants. It's an honor for me, Hikmah Ayu Fitriani, as the Master of Ceremony for today's event. Honored guests and beloved attendees, our agenda today will be started by singing Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya, followed by singing Hymn Universitas Brawijaya, led by conductor. Please come to the stage, Verse Veranda Kilia Pudianing Room. Cheers, guests and audience, please join me in standing as we sing together the Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya, and Hymn Universitas Brawijaya.
Indonesia
seated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to listen to the opening remarks delivered by the chairman of Icopag 2024. Please welcome Bapak Aulia Lukman Aziz SS SPD MPD.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Allahumma shalli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The Honorable Head of Public Administration Department, Faculty of Administrative Science, Dr. Fadila Amin, PhD, and also the Secretary of the Department, Dr. Wike, and also some of the head of the study programs, Dr. Bambang Santoso Haryono. Oh, there are also Vice Dean for General Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Faisal Riza, and also Vice Dean for Student and Alumni Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Rozikin. My seniors, professors, some of the speakers who present online and offline, and also my dear participants who attend this event online and offline. Welcome to Icopag. This 2024 edition will remark as the third edition of International Conference on Public Administration and Governance. This time, we collaborate with the other two universities in Southeast Asia to establish this conference. That is University Utara Malaysia and Visayas State University Isabel, the Philippines. I would like to report to all the audience that we accept as many as 90 papers from 8 countries published in international publication. And also I would like to welcome participants, non-presenter, who also come from different countries other than Indonesia, including Malaysia, Philippines, Timor-Leste, India, Pakistan, Nigeria, Senegal, Taiwan, to southern part of America also. I see some of you in the WhatsApp group of participants from Argentina, Brazil, and Peru, and also maybe some of my friends in Russia are also watching this event today. I would like to deliver my gratitude to my predecessors, because without their work, this third edition would not have strong foundation. The first edition, the chair was Dr. Firda Hidayati. Is she coming today? No. Okay, please stand up. Dr. Firda, please give applause to Dr. Firda Hidayati. And the second edition, the chairman was Dr. Ahmad Amiruddin. Where is Mr. Amir? Oh, he will be act as the moderator also for today. And I would like also thank to the plenary speakers who provide time and knowledge for all of us today. Professor Aslam Fatar from Stellenbosch University, Professor Yuzuru Shimada from Nagoya University, Japan, Professor Moises Serino from Visayas State University, who is now in Germany, and also Dr. Corina Abdul Talib from University Technology Malaysia, Dr. Anurat from Burapa University. Please stand up and give applause to Dr. Anurat, and also my head of department, Dr. Fadila Amin. And also I would like to thank all the committee, including the student committee, our media partner UB Medcom and UBTV, all authors and presenters who have submitted their papers to this conference, and not to mention all participants and students for your coming. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The second speech will be delivered by Dean of Faculty of Administrative Science, Universitas Brawijaya, to Profesor Dr. Andes Andi Wijaya, MDA PhD. Time is yours.
Yeah, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Moderator. Okay, thank you. MC, I will start. Honorable Rector of Universitas Brawijaya, Professor Widodo PhD, and also Vice Dean. I look Vice Dean 2 and 3 available today. Dr. Rozikin and Dr. Faisal Reza. Is there Vice Dean 1 also there? Yeah, maybe no. He's not coming today, maybe, Vice Dean 1. And I look also head of Department of Public Administration, There is Dr. Fadila Amin, PhD, and also head of Department of Business Administration, I think, over there, Ibu Dr. Imama. I see she sit down in front, Maybe also the head of Department Administrative Science, and also the secretary, and the chief of Icopag 2024, and representative co-host, Dr. Coriena Abdul Talib, and also Mr. Rudolfo T. Aunzo, and also I also look Dr. Anurat over there, sit down in front. Sawadi, Dr. Anurat, welcome to here from Thailand. And also plenary speakers from 7 countries, and also the committee, student and lecturer, and also staff, who already make this event can run very well today, and esteemed participants Icopag 2024. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the International Conference on Public Administration and Governance, Icopag 2024. On behalf of the Faculty of Administrative Science at Universitas Brawijaya, it is a privilege to host this conference and to join all of you in discussing the important theme, global challenge and local solutions, synergies between public administration, library science, education, social science, and life science. In today's interconnected world, the role of public administration is increasingly complex. As administrators, policymakers, and scholars, we are continually challenged to respond effectively to global issues like environmental sustainability and technological transformation and societal resilience. This year's theme captures the essence of our work. It reminds us that while challenge often global in scale, the solution must consider and leverage local context and knowledge. Here in lies the power of interdisciplinary collaboration, where fields such as library science, education, social science, life science can enrich our understanding and approach in realm of public administration. Icopag provides us with a unique platform to explore this interaction, to exchange insight, and to collaborate on practical, innovative strategies. I'm confident that the discussions and findings shared year will contribute not only to our individual fields, but also to more integrated approach to governance and administration that benefits our communities. I would like to thank its speakers, participants, and the organizing committee from our Department of Public Administration for their dedication and hard work in making Icopag 2024 possible. May this conference be a catalyst for a meaningful ideas, partnership, and progress. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor Andi. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now prepare to listen the remarks from distinguished representative from University Teknologi Malaysia. Please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Corina Abdul Thalib.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Ms. Lovely Chairman. Okay, honorable to all the head of the departments, yeah, and then honorable administration team, Mr. Aulia Lokman Aziz as the chair of Icopag 2024, and all participants joining us both online and also offline. Right, ladies and gentlemen, there is a saying, sharing is caring. Have you heard it about it? But for me, sharing is sustaining knowledge. When we share knowledge, we help to preserve and grow it. So this is the beauty of Icopag. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Icopag organizers for inviting me to join as co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM education, is now a central agenda at many educational institutions. Previously, these subjects were taught in isolation, but now they are interconnected. Working in STEM has enabled me to collaborate with experts across various fields, such as agriculture, science, health, technology, and engineering, as well as astronomy. Universitas Brawijaya and University Technology Malaysia are like STEM. Our collaboration began in 2021 and continue to expand. To everyone here, build your networks. You may think it is insignificant now, but in the future, you will see its worth. One person can achieve many things, but together we achieve greatness. Thank you, and I wish you a productive conference.
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Corina. We're going to continue to the next page, which will be delivered by a representative from Visayas State University, Philippines. To Dr. Rudolfo Tianzo Jr., time is yours.
Good morning. In Cebuano, for Filipino, we call that maayong buntag. Okay. Distinguished guests, respected colleagues, faculty members, students, and participants from across the world, on behalf of Visayas State University, Isabel, it is my great honor to see you all today in this third International Conference on Public Administration and Governance, or the Icopag 2024. I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the esteemed administrators, faculties, and students from Brawijaya University, the main host of this important conference, Your dedication and academic and societal advancement has fostered a vibrant environment for collaborative inquiry and shared growth, making Universitas Brawijaya a fitting venue for this kind of gathering. Your commitment and leadership are inspiring, and we are sincerely thankful for the hard work and enthusiasm of all who have made contribution to this event possible. The theme of this year's conference, Global Challenges and Local Solutions, Synergies between Public Administration, Library Science, Education, Social Sciences, and Life Sciences, addresses the core of what we as educators, researchers, and professionals strive to achieve: a balance between the universal and the particular, between large-scale issues and community-centered actions. The theme reminds us to be more responsible in this public service. I also want to take this opportunity to convey our special thanks to Professor Aulia Lukman Aziz. Your tireless and dedicated effort has made us or make this event successful. And of course, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to Associate Professor Dr. Karina Abdul Talib from University Technology Malaysia, whose invaluable support as collaborator has greatly enriched this event. As we look forward, Visayas State University is enthusiastic about growing partnership between VSU, UTM, and UB. We envision expanding our collaborative joint in research, faculty and student exchange program, and cooperative projects that address both national and international challenges. This partnership not only enhances our institution, but also embodies our commitment to fostering education, research, and community impact that resonate beyond our campuses. Through this evolving relationship, we aspire to create an even stronger, more collaborative academic network that serves as a catalyst for innovative solutions and sustainable progress. This conference is indeed more than just a series of discussion and presentations. It is an opportunity for each of us to engage with new ideas, build meaningful partnership, and live with insights that will inspire us together in this respective field. Thank you to each participant for being here, for your willingness to share and to learn. May the discussions we engage today pave the way for impactful collaborations and actionable solutions. Welcome to Icopag 2024. May it be a peaceful, fruitful, and transformative experience to all. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Mr. Rodolfo. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to the last speech, which will be delivered by Rektor Universitas Brawijaya, to Professor Widodo SSI MSI PhD Medical Science. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Administrative Science, Professor Andi Wijaya PhD, the Honorable Head of the Department of Public Administration, Dr. Fadila Amin PhD, the Honorable Chair of the Icopag 2024, Dr. Lukman Aziz, the Honorable Representative from co-host, Dr. Karina Abdul Talib, and Mr. Rodolfo Peoncio, the Honorable Plenary Speakers from 7 countries, and all of the esteemed participants of our Icopag 2024. Very good morning and welcome to Universitas Brawijaya in the International Conference on the Public Administration and Governance, Icopag 2024. This conference is very important, where all of the experts from around the globe are gathering to address the very important issue of the public administration challenge and explore locally driven solutions. So this theme conference on the global challenge and local solution reflect our world ongoing rapidly change. Over than 56% of the global population now live in the urban area, projected to rise to the 68% by 2050. So this surge demands effective governance to address these critical issues, from housing and waste to climate and digital equity. In Indonesia, for example, one of the greenhouse gas emitters, with 47% of emission from deforestation and land use, while generating over 1,000 tons of waste daily. In response to these situations, Universitas Brawijaya has developed sustainable programs at the crucial area like agriculture and waste management. Our sustainable agriculture, research and waste reduction is really important and aligning with Indonesia's target of cutting ocean plastic pollution by 70% by 2025. This is a very big challenge. And this conference brings together leaders from 7 countries and multiple fields, including public administrations, life science, and social science, making its unique platform for sharing and information and also discussing for practical strategies, how to solve these solutions. So therefore, I encourage each of you to build connection, share insight, and pursue innovation policies to strengthen resilience, inclusive, and sustainability for human beings. Thank you for all of the speakers, participants, and organizing teams, and let us work toward a fair, resilient, and sustainable future. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor Widodo. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, as we begin this momentous event, I would like to invite the Honorable Dr. Fadilah Amin as the head of Public Administration Department to officiate the opening ceremony by striking the gong. Please welcome to the stage Dr. Fadilah Amin, MAP PhD. Now I would like to invite Bapak Aulia Lukman, Dr. Corina, and Dr. Rodolfo Buwike and all the distinguished guests to step forward attending Bapak Fadilah Amin striking gong. Please to distinguish Pak Fadilah Amin, Bapak Lukman, Associate Professor Dr. Corino and Dr. Rudolfo, serta Bu Wike remain on the stage and move to the middle of the stage because there will be a photo station. I will help you to lead the photo sessions. Okay, I will help you by counting down from 3, 2, 1. Once more. 3, 2, 1. Please, to all the distinguished guests to move to down of the stage because there will be a photo sessions with all the attendees today. Please, to all the attendees to stand up. Please, to all the attendees to stand up because we're going to the photo sessions with all the distinguished guests, speakers, professors, and also lecturers. I will help the photo sessions by counting down from 3, 2, 1. Once more. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you so much. You may now sit back. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue our program, we have special treat for you. We're excited to present Home Sky, a talented group of individuals who will take us on a musical journey that embodies the spirit of our gathering today. Please join me in welcoming Home Sky to the stage.
Okay, good morning everyone. Okay, my name is Sandra and I'm here with Home Sky and we are student of Public Administration, Faculty of Administration Science, Universitas Brawijaya. And here we are. We want to invite all of us to sing together before we next to the next agenda. And for the first song, we will sing Nothing's Gonna Change My Love for You from Gertrude Benson. And if you know the song, let's sing along together.
If I had to live my life without you near me, the days would all be empty. Nights will seem so long. With you I see forever oh so clearly. I might have been in love before, but it never felt this strong. Our dreams are young and we but know have take us where we want to go. Touch me now, I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you. You ought to know by now how much I love you. One thing you can be sure of, I never asked for more than your love. Nothing's gonna change my love for you. You ought to know by now.
Okay, for the second song, I want to sing one of the famous song in Indonesia. It's Berharap Tak Berpisah from Reza Artamafia. And if you guys know this song, let's sing along together.
beautiful performance. Please let's give a round of applause for Humskai and the team. Ladies and gentlemen, we're thrilled to bring you a very special performance by one of our distinguished guests from Philippines. Please join me in welcoming Miss Lesiel Manag-Banag to the stage.
Hello. Salamat pagi. And this song is dedicated for the successful collaboration and friendship of the three universities, the Universitas Brawijaya, and Visayas State University, and University Technology of Malaysia. And the song is entitled Hawak Kamay in Tagalog, and in English, that is holding our hands together. And in Indonesian language, verbi gangan tangan bersatu mihadi satu. Am I right? Okay, and one of the culture of the Filipinos is singing karaoke. And you can sing with me if you know the song. I didn't memorize, so I have the... Minsan madarama mo kay di ka problema. Minsan mahihirapan ka at masasabi di ko na kaya. Tumingin ka lang sa langit, baka sakaling may masumpungan, o di kaya ako'y tawagin. Malalaman mo kahit kailan, hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglakbay. Dito sa mundong walang katiyakan, hawak kamay, di kita bibitawan sa paglakbay. Nunang kawalan, minsan madarama mo ang mundo'y kumukuhos sa ilalim ng iyong mga paa, at ang agos ng problema'y tinatangay ka. Tumingin ka lang sa langit, baka sakali may masumpungan, di kaya ako'y tawagin. Malalaman mo kahit kailan, hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglakbay. Dito sa mundong walang katiyakan, hawak kamay, di kita bibitawan sa paglalakbay. Sa mundo ng kawal, huwag mong sabihin nag-iisa ka. Laging isipin may nakakasama. Narito ako, ako di sini. Hawak kamay, di kita iiwan sa paglakbay. Dito sa mundong walang katiyakan, hawak kamay, di kita bibitawan sa paglalakbay. Sa mundo ng kawalan, sa mundo ng kawalan, baby, gantangan, hawak di dunia kintawan.
What's an amazing performance by Miss Lesil Manabanak. Ladies and gentlemen, as our event progresses, it's time to transition to the heart of our program, the main segment where we delve deeper into our theme and engage in insightful discussion. Now, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce our moderator for the main segment, a seasoned expert in the field who will guide us through today's discussions with all the speakers. Today's moderator will be Bapak Dr. Ahmad Amiruddin, SAP, MAP, PhD. Bapak Ahmad Amiruddin is the distinguished academic with extensive expertise in public administrations and environmental policy, holding multiple advanced degrees including PhD from Tohoku University in Japan. Dr. Amiruddin has contributed significantly to academic as a lecturer at Universitas Brawijaya. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Bapak Dr. Ahmad Amiruddin, SAP, MAP, PhD.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and once again, welcome to the International Conference of Public Administration and Governance, Icopag 2024. On behalf of the Faculty of Administration, then this is the third Icopag that we conduct in our department, Department of Public Administration, Faculty of Administrative Science. Honorable, once again, all of the head of Department of Public Administrations, head of Department of Business Administrations, and also the chairman of Icopag 2024, Mr. Aulia Lukman Aziz, and all of the distinguished keynote speakers that come offline in this venue, also online by Zoom. And also the representative from co-host and many speakers that come online or also offline. We have more than 200 that joining in our Zoom today. And also in this venue we have more than 300 students and several presenters also come to this venue to present after the plenary speakers. Then I have some changes for the keynote speakers. The first speaker will be Professor Caleb Sips, then continue by Professor Aslam Fatar, then also Professor Yuzur Simada PhD, and also Professor Dr. Moses Neil. Then we will invite the online speaker first, then after that we will invite the offline speakers. This is a little bit modification based on the situation today. Okay. Then we will come to the first speakers. Please invite by online Professor Caleb Sif. He is professor and head of Department of Environmental Protection and Landscape at the Estonian University of Life Science. Then Professor Caleb, time is yours.
morning. Thank you very
Morning,
much
Professor.
indeed for inviting me to be presenter at the Icopag conference. My topic is related to landscapes, which reflect the global challenges and needs local solutions. I'm a professor at the Estonian University of Life Sciences. My research area are environmental protection, environmental sciences, and landscape management. First, I would like to say a couple of words about my home country, Estonia. It's a small European country, just area of 45,000 square kilometers and 1.3 million people. We're very proud of our IT solutions. We can say that 99% of service provided by the government can be completed online. We have Homeland for Skype, Bolt, Wise, and Estonian speak the Finno-Ugric language, Estonian language. My university, Estonian University of Life Sciences, is the former University of Agriculture, and we are one of the 6 public universities in Estonia. Our strongest research areas are related to plant and animal sciences and environment and ecology, where we belong to the 1% of the most cited research institutions in the world. We are quite small university, just around 3,000 students. Approximately 10% of students are international students. We're offering PhD programs on the 5 fields, and we have about 240 PhD students, and we can say that 50% of them are from abroad. And we have several English language programs, veterinary medicine, landscape architecture, and I especially recommending students from Asia to come and study at a master science program in environmental governance and adaptation to climate change, which is a joint program with the University of Tartu. Then you are very, very welcome, warm welcome. And now, my presentation. Why landscapes are important, why we need landscape approach. We know that landscape as a symbol of the local identity against globalization fades slowly. The landscape as a quality of the living environment is decreasing, and the quality and diversity of Europe's landscapes are seriously threatened. And this was the reason why in 1990s European Council started to work out the European Landscape Convention, which was open for signatures in 2000 and came in force 4 years later in 2004. We know that diversity and quality of cultural landscapes decreasing, but at the same time it's Europe's common heritage. And we can say that European countries have a duty to make collective provisions for the protection, management and planning of these values. Then just one example. If you look those photos, the buildings in different cities in the world, then you can immediately recognize that probably this building are from Japan, or it's from Germany, or it's from Switzerland. Every building has their own style, their own architecture. And there are many landscape elements which are very much related to a certain geographical area. And nowadays, if you look at any modern city in the world, it's only glass and metal. And it's very difficult to say is from China, is it from Nigeria, is it from Indonesia. Then landscape elements are becoming more and more common. and we are losing specifically for the local science. Then what is the landscape? It's quite difficult to define. I don't know what is the landscape meaning in Asian countries, but when we created the European Landscape Convention, then it took practically 2 years to find common definition of the landscape. And we agreed that the landscape is an area as perceived by people whose character is the result of the action and interaction of natural and human factors. And this definition reflects the idea that landscapes evolve through time as a result of being acted upon the natural forces and human beings. And it also underlines that the landscape forms a whole whose natural and cultural components are taken together, not separately. To be very simple, we can say that the landscape is home for the people and habitat for the wildlife. And landscapes reflect history, modification, relation, simulation, recovery, as meaning and value, which depends on the area and the changing relations. If you look at the driving forces in landscape change, then we can conclude that the former land use structure and change have impact the current landscapes everywhere in the world. A general economic environment, a very strong impact on landscapes. The many economic sectors and policies, like agriculture, forestry. If we're supporting biofuel, palm plantation, then it will have its footprint in the landscape. If we pay to farmers to create hedgerows, it has the impact on the landscape. Definitely, landscapes are related to the environmental conditions. It has its own social context. Definitely, every type of globalization and global change have impact on the landscape. And many legal acts, conventions, land use planning are creating a landscape. But despite those global processes, landscape is still the phenomenon which belongs to the local people, and the landscape character depends very much about values, activities of local people, local authorities. Then a couple of words about the European Landscape Convention, which is very much focused on Europe. And it was the first international level legal agreement that involves only landscapes. We also have UNESCO World Cultural and Natural Heritage Convention, which is worldwide and which also has landscape elements. But the European Landscape Convention is the only agreement that involves only landscapes. It aims to protect and manage natural and cultural heritage through special planning, with aim to improve quality of landscape protection, management, planning. And there are several measures under the Landscape Convention. Currently, there are around 40 European countries are members. Estonia was one of the last. We became a member only in 2018. and several countries like Albania, Austria, Germany, they haven't, Russia, they haven't joined the European Landscape Convention yet. There are various reasons why. Then the scope and aims of the convention is to provide a new instrument devoted exclusively to the protection, management, and planning of all types of landscapes. It applies to the entire territory, including natural, urban, and peri-urban areas. And it's very important to emphasize that it's stealing not only very valuable landscapes, but also ordinary or everyday landscapes, and also dealing with degraded areas. And it's emphasizing that landscape is the basis, the quality of the citizen in every country. Then the overall aim is to promote, to protect, to manage, to plan landscapes in European countries. We can say that landscape is the key element, defines the quality of life, the basis for the local culture. And we need solution at the local level. High quality landscape need public involvement, different scales. It gives also the different definitions. What is the landscape? What is the landscape policy, landscape management? What are the aims and obligations? And very important, it's very important to emphasize that also public awareness and training is very, very important. It needs cross-sector cooperation. It gives also some awards away. And if you look what are the general principles of the European Landscape Convention, then we can say that it's considered the territory as the whole, recognize the fundamental role of knowledge, promote awareness, define landscape strategies, integrate the landscape dimension into territorial policies, integrate landscape into the sectoral policies, make use of public participations, and achieve landscape quality objective at the local level. And this is just a figure to conclude all those 8-9 points of landscape convention in the illustrative form. And European Landscape Convention or landscape management involves many areas, all economic sectors, which have impact on the landscape features. We can just say nature protection, forestry, planning, architecture, cultural heritage protection, mining activities, water management, etc. Then this convention deals with identification and evaluation of landscapes, which is basically knowledge, sets landscape quality objectives at the local level, implement landscape policies, creating different instruments, fundraising, establish methods for participation, how to involve general public, local and regional authorities and other stakeholders, promoting education at schools, university courses to underline the importance of landscapes, and promotion and training for specialists, professionals. I think all those areas are also very important for Icopag activities and conferences. Then we can say that today's decisions will shape tomorrow's landscapes. This is just a natural landscape anywhere in the mountainous area in the world. It's one agricultural landscape in Europe. We can find different planning urban areas in different parts of the world. And this is just one example that the forest law in Canada, which sets what could be the maximum size of the clear-cut area, what is the wideness of the corridor, and the criterion that all forest area should be connected together. Then, if you look what we need, then yes, we should support certain activities to create cultural features of landscapes, to reestablish, for example, stone walls in UK, and we can conclude that how many stone walls we have built during the year. It's just the result of the certain measure. We can calculate the number of animals on the landscapes, how much we have supported, or we can also support certain crops, energy crops, or some other types of crops. But this is just the results of any kind of project or any kind of support. At the same time, we should think what have changed in the landscapes that thanks to the very nice landscape, we could have more visitors, and we can report that how many million visitors we have the countryside. We can calculate that how many bird species or pollinators we have more in the agricultural landscape thanks to those flower strips. And also how many tourists have visited, how many craft enterprises we have established. All those activities are related to the rural landscapes. And we can conclude that landscape is a skeleton of the nationality of sustainable development or resilience. Thank you very much indeed for your attention, and I wish you very successful conference.
Thank you so much, Professor Kale, for the great presentation. Then will we move to the next keynote speakers? Professor Aslam Fatar. Maybe the operator also can show the curriculum vitae. Then I also read by myself also. And please invite Professor Aslam Fatar to our Zooms, then he can present the presentations. Then Professor Aslam Fatar, he's a distinguished professor in the Department of Education Policy Studies in Stellenbosch University in Cape Town, South Africa. He specialized in the area of sociology of education and education policy. Then, yeah, Professor Aslam Fatar, curriculum vitae. Okay. Hello, Professor Aslam Fatar.
Hello, good morning, dear colleague. Can you hear me?
Yes, time is yours, Professor.
Thank you very much, colleagues. I'm trying to share my screen, but it says that it says disabled and only the host can do that.
Can the operator help to share the screens? Okay, please, Professor.
Okay. Right, here we go. Thank you very much. Now I will share my screen. Thank you, that is beautiful. And now you can share my screen, right? Now you can see my screen. Good morning, assalamu alaikum to the audience. Today I want to speak about a figure, an Indonesian figure that we in Cape Town share. And I want to make the argument that this figure, in the person of this particular figure, Sheikh Yusuf of Makassar, represents what I call a transoceanic ethics. So with transoceanic, I mean that between Indonesia and where he settled in Sri Lanka and where he studied in Arabia, and then moving back to Indonesia, and then moving across the Indian Ocean as a banished exile to Cape Town, where he settled in 1693 and passed away in 1699, and then the story is that his body was repatriated to Indonesia in 1705. I call that transoceanic. But his life is constituted by a particular kind of leadership, spiritual, religious, and political experience, which I package into what I call his ethics, his transoceanic ethics. And I'm asking a very important question. How can this human being, Sheikh Yusuf's transoceanic ethics, help us today in the 21st century confront our various planetary challenges? I argue that in an era marked by increasing planetary injustice, Sheikh Yusuf al-Makassari's transoceanic legacy provides a framework for addressing contemporary issues such as rising and complex inequality in the world, even genocide and war, climate change, artificial intelligence and digital existences, and so on and so forth. The big question is, how does a figure of the 17th century who moved between Indonesia and Arabia and Sri Lanka and Cape Town, how does a figure like that gets used in the 21st century ethically in order to inform the way we live our lives currently? And as we know, that he was born in Indonesia, he came to South Africa, to the Cape of Good Hope in the period of 1693. And my argument is that that was a period in which this connection between Indonesia, India, East and West Africa and South Africa facilitated the movement of goods, the movement of ideas, the movement of people, also involving the transportation of the enslaved and exiled and political exiled individuals from various parts of the world, including Indonesia. That significantly affected both regions, both the Indonesia, India, Sri Lanka, and Africa and Cape Town, South Africa. So human beings in the 15th and 16th century, and even before that, and definitely after that, have been constituted by this particular movement. I do not have to say too much, but maybe there are people not from Indonesia who wouldn't know that Sheikh Yusuf was born on 3rd of July 626 in Makassar, Indonesia, and becomes a pivotal figure for the fight against Dutch colonialism in that area, but also in the area of Cape Town and Sri Lanka, where he was exiled too. His transoceanic identity, transoceanic legacy and ethics was based on, yes, movement, displacement, resistance, spiritual resilience, and therefore also a commitment to building community, building social justice, and so on and so forth. He left a legacy of writings. He didn't write anything when he was in Cape Town, but he wrote when he was in Sri Lanka and in Indonesia, and he wrote them in Arabic and Malayu. And we can go back and exactly find out how he framed and informed his Sufi-orientated writings, his religious writings, and his political writings as part of that. So in both Cape Town and Indonesia and maybe elsewhere, we have current day what I call community remembrance spaces, where this transoceanic ethics can be and are being developed to inform human processes both in Indonesia and in Cape Town. And my argument is that we are able to think very carefully about how we can use his legacy and his ethics in this particular context. So I would encourage educational processes, community fora, media processes, even social media like TikTok and Facebook, to kind of work out what his transoceanic ethics consist of, his spiritual legacy, his religious legacy, the political movements, and so on and so forth. And then to package that into media educational material about which we can educate ourselves to live in the world, to live justly in the world, to live in the global, complex global context that we are in the world. Because out of that kind of ethical frame that he provides us, it informs our storytelling. In other words, who we are out of the stories that we tell ourselves, the rituals that we establish as human beings, establish those rituals, given the context in which they live, and the shared memorial and heritage sites, both Cape Town, for example, that is ongoing, as well as in Indonesia, at these heritage sites where he gets it memorialized, to utilize those cultural practices in order to strengthen our cultural bonds, strengthen our solidarity commitments, and strengthen our local educational commitments to justice, to fairness, to dignity in the world, and so on. So, given the content of his planetary ethics, I want to suggest that there are at least 4 or 3 types of challenges that confront us. In the first presentation by our guest, he spoke about sort of sustainability challenges, climate change, and the built environment. That is an enormous challenge that now confronts us in the context of global warming. Our corporations, our human beings have now changed dramatically the contours of our sustainability, and how we ethically have to understand how the world, our people, how ourselves and corporations ought to stymie and stem climate change so that we can establish life and protect life. In relation to AI or artificial intelligence has been with us for 30 years, but it's now accelerated. It's now become part of our bodily existence, but we haven't quite figured out how to establish our bodily autonomy, our intellectual autonomy. And what Sheikh Yusuf provides us, even in the 17th century, from the 17th century, is a kind of an ethical resource, a spiritual resource, wherein we locate the sense of our humanness in relation to our connection to the divine, and how the divine God, Allah, is able to inform today, inspired by Sheikh Yusuf's ethics, how it informs how we are able to engage and encounter artificial intelligence in such a way that we live with integrity in the world, and so on. And of course, poverty is arising, and global genocide and oppression of the Palestinian people, of the Sudanese people, of the people in Myanmar, the people in Kashmir, the people in South American contexts that are being oppressed, how we can establish global solidarity commitments. What this requires, according to Sheikh Yusuf's planetary ethics, is an interconnectedness of life based on divine unity. That is what he emphasized in his movement across these various spaces where he encountered life, where he encountered oppression and possibility, and brought communities together under the divine unity, or what Sufi Ibn Arabi would call Wahdatul Wujud. Kind of everything is divinely ordained around the oneness of God, and that is what his ethics puts in place. Out of that comes our holistic respect for nature as a moral or ethical or spiritual obligation, so that we are able to understand what we have to do in order to restore balance in the world. Out of that comes an ethical use of technology, so that we are not overrun by it. A memory of the ways in which we have to confront the world, as Sheikh Yusuf did physically, and in his movements in the 17th century could inform how we do it today. And of course, his persona is a persona of resistance against the Dutch, and of building community, so that we can deliver social justice and equity to the world. What does Sheikh Yusuf call us to action about? This kind of ethics of Sheikh Yusuf asked us to foster collective action, to oppose division, because out of this collective action and solidarity, we are able to establish justice across boundaries of race and class and country and creed and so on. He gives us an ethical framework in respect of which you can promote local and international justice initiatives and humanitarian ethics. So Sheikh Yusuf ought to be used for all these common good purposes. He provides us the idea that we have to unite against violence and oppression and so on. So in conclusion, therefore, I would say that working with Sheikh Yusuf's story, understanding that story in the 17th century, understanding what ethically his life consists of, understanding the leadership out of which that ethics grew, and out of which he established his global path right across the oceans, the Atlantic oceans, we are able to draw from them in our educational process, in our media generating processes, to establish our own action and our own responsibility to securing life on this planet. So finally, in honor of Sheikh Yusuf and his legacy of 400 years, we cultivate compassion and solidarity and ethical engagement to address contemporary challenges in the world. I just want to say, in by conclusion, thank you very much to Aulia Luqman for organizing this, the rector and vice rectors, the deans and vice deans, the professors, all the lecturers and all the participants at the conference. I greet you. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Applause for Professor Aslam. Very great presentations. Then it's the time also, it's in time. The presentation should be 15 minutes. Then the next presenters is Professor Yuzuru Shimada. He is Professor and Dean of Graduate School of International Development, Nagoya University, Japan. Please, operator. Then, don't be surprised that Professor Shimada can speak Indonesia. So, if you have a question delivered by Indonesian language, it doesn't matter for him. Okay, Professor Shimada, how are you?
Fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Terima kasih
Time is
banyak,
yours.
moderator. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Selamat pagi.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, my name is Yuzuru Shimada from Nagoya University, Japan. But as moderator said, that I can speak Bahasa Indonesia. So, but today it's the international conference, and I think that there are many participants from overseas. Overseas means that other than Indonesia. So let me speak English for my presentation. So, and if you have any question after that, and you want to speak Bahasa Indonesia, that's okay. I can understand. Okay. Let me share my screen. Today, along with how to say the common topics of this conference, the global challenges and local solutions, synergies between public administration, library science, education, social science, and life science. I choose the topic, the human rights in Asia. The human rights is always, since before, the very important global challenges. So, and especially in Asian countries, including Indonesia, Philippines, and Malaysia, that human rights always be a matter, and also that the subject to the criticism from the outside. So that's why that I like to discuss about the human rights in Asia, especially the universality, particularity, and restrictions. Okay. As a benchmark for the human rights discussion, that we should pay attention to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it's adopted in 1948 by the United Nations General Assembly. So this Universal Declaration of Human Rights provided the framework of the universally recognized human rights, including the right to equality, right to personal liberty. It means that the right to free from the arbitrary detention, and the right to freedom from the state. This including the right to freedom of expression, right to freedom of association, right to freedom of assembly, and also that right to move and right to choose residence, etc. And right to participate in politics and government. It's a democratic right for the people. And the right to property. It's a very important right for the economic development. And the right to life with dignity. Not only life, but also that this life should be with dignity, healthy, and cultural as a humankind with dignity. So, but when we discuss about this universality of human rights, there are some questions. First, are those rights in Universal Declaration of Human Rights equally recognized in the ASEAN Declaration of Human Rights. That ASEAN adopted its own Human Rights Declaration in 2020. So, but whether that this ASEAN Human Rights Declaration recognizes the same rights or same rights in the same way with Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And another one more question is, what is the prominent differences between Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the ASEAN Declaration of Human Rights, if there is any differences? The Universal Declaration of Human Rights is adopted by the General Assembly of the United Nations in 1948. So, and the declaration, this document titled the Declaration, that means that this document doesn't have any legally binding power for the member states. So this is different from the International Covenant on Human Rights, in that the International Covenant and the political and civil and political rights, and the International Covenant and the economic, social, and cultural rights adopted in 1966. That those covenants are assumed that they're legally binding. But even though, despite of that, this nowadays this human rights framework listed in Universal Declaration of Human Rights is assumed as a customary international law. So, but at the time of adoption, the international society is not as big as now, so that there are only a few non-European countries, so compared to now. But these are non-European member states, United Nations at that time, and voted for declaration. So, and among them, that only three, East and Southeast Asian countries, Republic of China, and the Philippines, and Siam, that now are like, nowadays it's called Thailand. So that's why most of the, current Southeast and East Asian countries didn't have a voice to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This is one point. And some countries that vote against, not vote against, but just abstain from the voting in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, including the USSR, Soviet Union, Ukraine, Belarus, Yugoslavia, Poland, and South Africa, and Czechoslovakia, and Saudi Arabia. Soviet Union, Ukraine, Belarus, and Yugoslavia, Poland, and Czechoslovakia, they, maybe have the complaint as a socialist country or the satellite countries of the Soviet Union. But South Africa complained about the, equality among the race, because at that time, the South Africa, maintain its apartheid policies. And why Saudi Arabia abstain? Because this is a reason of religion. This is that's one. But Article 18 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights provides that everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief. So that the Saudi Arabia representative delegates have complained about this, that according to the Islamic teaching, that there are no right to conversion of the religion. So that's why that Saudi Arabia not vote against the declaration, but abstain. So maybe that in the starting point, that there is some, conflict between among the member countries about the universality of human rights, especially in the cultural, religious, and historical background. Okay. So, but still, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights have to consider that the human rights is universal because all human beings are subject to the human rights. And but at the same time, Universal Declaration of Human Rights also recognize that the human rights not the absolute one, and there must be restrictions, such as everyone has the duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible, or other restrictions determined by law, and for the requirement of morality, public order, the general welfare in democratic society. So, maybe that's why we have to think that how those, how to say that, reasons for restrictions or limitations of human rights is adapted and developed in, how to say, after the adaptation of this Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And interesting event occurred in 1993. That 1993 is very important year for the international human rights, because in 1993, that international society convened that the Vienna International Human Rights Conference, which is the worldwide, the most important international conference about the universal human rights. So, but before the Vienna Conference on Human Rights, there are regional preparatory meetings that in the American states, Asia Pacific, Europe, and African countries. So as for the Asia and Pacific countries, those countries, delegations of those countries gathered in Bangkok, and they prepared the preparatory declaration for the Vienna International Human Rights Conference. So, and this document is called the Bangkok Declaration of Human Rights. So, in 1993. So, and in 1993, there are very, how to say, great change that in relationship between the European developed countries and the Asian, Southeast and East Asian developing countries. Along with the economic growth, very, very rapid economic growth, that Southeast and East Asian countries more and more bold against the criticism about their human rights situation by the Western countries. And they complain that the human rights should be, how to say, Western countries shouldn't impose their own concept of the human rights. So, and those how to say, arguments that are strongly reflected in this Bangkok Declaration. For example, that in preamble, they say that human rights should be, there should be a non-selectivity of all human rights. So, but there are no selective or priority of the, how to say, political freedom and freedom to right to development. So they complain that many Western countries only impose insist the importance of the political liberty, but without paying attention to the right to development of developing countries. So, but those both political rights and economic rights should be realized in liaison. And also that they criticize the double standards by the Western countries, that for example, that while criticizing the Chinese government for Tiananmen incident, but they ignore the incident in the Palestine. So, and they consider that, how to say, human rights criticism by the Western country is an interference to the domestic issues. So maybe those. And they insist that the human rights should be, how to say, along with the national and regional particularities and the various historical, cultural, and religious backgrounds. So maybe this argument that the human rights is particular in nationally and regionally, and also that the human rights is based on the historical, cultural, and religious background. This is a key point for when we discussing about the universality of human rights. So, in the Vienna Declaration in 1993, the document, the Vienna Declaration of Human Rights and Action Plan, is one of the a sort of the, how to say, product compromising between the Western countries and non-Western countries. So that's why that this document uses a very subtle wording, such as why the significance of national and the regional particularities and various historical, cultural, and religious background must be borne in mind. It is a duty of state, regardless their political, economic, cultural systems, to promote and protect all human rights and fundamental freedom. It depends on interpretation, whether that this wording means that accepting the particularity of human rights or denying the particularity of human rights. It's very interesting. Oh. And also that when a declaration recognizes the right to development, but the right to development cannot be an excuse to deny human rights. So maybe that Vienna Declaration and the Accession Plan in 1993 used a very subtle, compromising wording. So, and in 2020, as I said, that ASEAN adopted the Human Rights Declaration. It is the first Human Rights Declaration in Southeast Asian region. So, and how about the contents of the ASEAN Human Rights Declaration? This is very clear that the ASEAN countries, ASEAN members, still keep their stance in Bangkok Declaration. They consider human rights is particular in each region and nationality, and the human rights cannot be separated from its historical, cultural, and background. So, and the human rights should be balanced with the economic development. So, for example, the enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedom must be balanced with the performance of corresponding duties. So people should have both rights and duties. And all human rights are universal, individual, interdependent, and interrelated, so that no single human rights should not be, prioritized. And the social, cultural, and historical religious background. And the principle of impartiality, objectivity, non-selectivity, non-discrimination, non-confrontation, and avoidance of double standards and politicization. They criticize the, attitude of the Western countries criticizing the human rights situation in Southeast Asia. So, and so other cases that, for example, that so that's why that ASEAN Human Rights Declaration reflect that human rights in Asian argument in 1993 again. So, and let me see that as constitutions in other countries. For example, in Indonesia, that Indonesian constitution provides that while that every person should have the human rights, but they have to respect the society, nation, and the state. And the human rights have the limitation by the morality, religious value, security, and public order. So that the religious value, it's newly added words from the to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It's very unique. But in Indonesia, it's always problematic. Why that the Indonesian government can prohibit Ahmadiyya teaching or Shia's teaching, while that Indonesia is not the Islamic country, right? And in case of Malaysia, there are many reasons for to restricting the freedom of expression. So that such as Bumiputra policy or superiority of the king, or that the Malaysian language as a national language, etc. So, and also that the religious freedom must be practiced in the peace and harmonious way. So there are many reasons. Another interesting definition of human rights is in the Constitution of the Philippines. That the Constitution of the Philippines doesn't have the article about the right to life, but the right to life is provided not as a human right, but as a principle of the state policy. That's why that the people cannot that the human rights, the right to life, dignity life in Philippines, not the constitutional rights, but only the government responsibility to be achieved. So maybe this is a different. For example, that the Japanese constitution provides that everyone has a right to healthy and cultural life. So that's in Japan that the right to life considered as a constitutional rights. So people can claim it. but in Philippines, maybe because of its economic reason, that the human rights is right to life is not constitutionally recognized legal human rights. Interesting. Okay, because the time is very limited, I just talk about some conclusive remarks. So, in conclusion, we can summarize some type of the discourses of the Asian human rights. So, and Asian human rights is not a single argument. There are many aspects, but it's a cultural discourses. So that it's based on the Asian value discourses, especially that many persons say that the Asian culture is different from the Western country. That Western country they based on the individualism, but the Asian society based on the communitarian values. Those communitarianism that have the roots in the Confucian culture and the Islamic culture. So they criticize that the human rights are Western origin. That's why that imposing the human rights to the Asian countries by a Western country is the cultural imperialism. This is one point. And the second point is economic development discourses. That according to these discourses, human rights are luxury goods for developing countries. So that's why that the balanced realization of the civil political freedom and economic rights is important for developing countries. So, and this argument is enhanced by the experience of the quick and the miracle economic growth in Asian countries, especially that the Korea, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, and after that Indonesia, Thai, Philippines, something like that. So they can say that because those countries can restrict some kind of the human rights, they can achieve the economic growth. And the third one is national sovereignty discourse. That human rights is an internal issue, internal domestic issue. That's why that other countries shouldn't intervene. So this is a very strong base of the ASEAN. ASEAN based on the non-interference and sovereignty principle, that the ASEAN countries very rely on this argument. And the last one is double standard discourses. Western countries ignore the human rights violation occurred in Palestine and other some part of the world, but while that they criticize the human rights, same human rights violation in Asian countries, and also they ignore their own human rights during the imperialism at times, such as the slavery, African slavery, and discrimination against the African Americans, so like that. So maybe that those arguments combined and presented as counter argument against the universality of human rights. But we have to be careful that we cannot accept those arguments as such, because the most argument doesn't have any concrete fact. In most cases, that those argument is only used by the authoritarian leaders such as Suharto, Mahathir, and Lee Kuan Yew, and the Chinese Communist Party, so that to only justify or cover the severe human rights issues. Of course, there are some differences of human rights, but we should also pay attention to the whether that those restrictions of human rights is necessary, really necessary, and proportional, and also that incompatible with other more equally important values. Thank you very much. I will return my microphone to the moderator.
Thank you so much, Professor Simada, for your delivering very great presentations. Then I do believe that all attendants here still interested with the one more online keynote speakers. Then Professor Moises Neil Serino will deliver the next presentation by online. Please, operator, invite Professor Moises. Professor Moises is a professor of the Department of Economics at Visayas State University, Leyte, Philippines. He earned his doctoral degree in economics at the University of Göttingen, Germany. Then Professor Moises, okay, you are already joining in our Zooms. How are you, Professor?
Well, I'm good. Very pleasant morning from my time zone.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor. So, time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me share my screen. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me to share with you our work on nature-based solutions. Let me just... Something is happening with my screen. Hello? Okay. Sorry. I think something happened along the way.
Okay, great. We can see your screen, Professor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I thought something was happening on my end. So again, let me go back to the very first slide. So I'll be sharing with you our work on nature-based solutions, basically looking at the role of mangroves in protecting coastal communities and how do we value the natural resource that is available along the tropical world. So I'm currently based in Germany. I wanted to go to Indonesia, but it's a bit tight given my schedule here. So just a bit as to where I'm from. So I'm based now in Germany, but this work is conducted in the Philippines, and I'm happy to share with you in this conference. So just briefly about myself, I'm a visiting researcher, but I'm based at Visayas State University in Leyte, Philippines. About our university, we are roughly around 15,000 students, and then there are 5 campuses. So formerly, I was the Dean of the College of Management and Economics, but I'm now taking a more active administrative role in the university as the Vice President for Planning and Development. So today's discussion, I think this picture summarizes the main message that I'll be sharing with you in this conference, where mangroves are naturally occurring plants in the intertidal zone. It is habitat for various organisms, and we also derive various ecosystem services. But during typhoons, also mangroves protected coastal communities. However, because of anthropogenic activities, a lot of development, this now put mangroves at a disadvantage part. They have been converted, cut, and destroyed. And then if there are extreme weather events like strong typhoons, like super typhoon categories now, these super typhoons are becoming more frequent, aggravated because of our climate change situation. And right now, as we speak, there is also another super typhoon that's threatening the northern part of the Philippines, and I think part also of Taiwan. Now, recently, with the increasing frequency of damaging typhoons, everyone recognized the role of mangroves in protecting coastal communities. So this picture is an actual damage of the typhoon that happened in 2013 in the Philippines, and then in our locality, in the place where I came from. And then there was another destructive super typhoon that happened in 2021. So from these studies, these instances, this is where we drawn our motivation for the study. And if you see the picture, so there's already a lot of settlements, a lot of houses, but we see some fragments of mangroves along the way. So the widespread damages brought by the typhoon gained renewed attention as to the protected services provided by mangroves. For these two, so I'll be using these two super typhoon incidents for our area, the super typhoon Yolanda and Odette, where our region suffered tremendous losses in terms of property, lives, livelihood, agriculture, widespread damages caused by strong storm surge and strong winds. There are several anecdotal evidences, shared stories published from medias, circulated online that they were saved because of the presence of mangroves. Their town was spared from the damages because of these mangroves. Then mangroves acted as natural shield during these incidents. So there is this a lot of stories circulating around. So as a scientist on our end, we wanted to provide empirical evidence. We wanted to gather information and look at empirically whether indeed mangroves was able to reduce damages brought by the super typhoon. So that's the main part. Our contribution for this research that we are doing is from the stories. We now provide empirical evidence basing on the damages reported by the coastal villages. So these stories reflects the protective function of mangroves. So we'll try to add to this discourse. Now, despite the importance of mangroves, like its protection, other services it's provide, being a source of food, being a source of breeding ground for a lot of organisms, mangrove ecosystem is actually one of the world's most threatened major tropical environment. According to Goldberg, more than 60% of the global losses occurred in 2000 to 2016. For the Philippines, 50% of our mangroves has been lost already. So I wasn't able to gather some statistics for Indonesia in terms of their mangrove status, but I was able to pull out this first global mangrove assessment conducted by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN. So mangroves are naturally occurring in the tropical world. So as you see, there are now a yellow, red part, and orange, citing that mangroves in this area are now vulnerable, critically endangered, or endangered. So here we see I circled the Philippines because this is where I study, but I think you can also see in the map that Indonesia, mangroves in Indonesia are now also considered in the IUCN as vulnerable. So mangrove ecosystems are exceptional in their ability to provide essential services to nature and to us. That includes now coastal disaster risk reduction. So this is a global picture. We can also narrow it down to on the site, onto our place. So this is a common picture in the place where I came from, in Leyte Island, close to where I work, where you see some of the mangroves are present, but now houses are also being built in this area. And this would, again, damage mangrove in this location. And eventually, houses are exposed now to disruptions. Houses are now exposed to strong waves and winds if there are typhoons. And in this case, government will provide funds for them to help them recover. So in the Philippines, there is a fund that if you declare that your house is totally damaged or partially damaged, you can receive support, compensation from the government for that one. So every typhoon, we have this expenditure. So in a way, we want to explore nature-based solution as a alternative in terms of providing protection to our coastal communities. So the ability of mangroves, so there are several studies of this one. The abilities of mangroves to reduce damages is the most undervalued ecosystem services. This is according to DAS and Vincent in 2015. Now, we want to put value to this one. We want, although there's already a lot of stories, but empirical evidence, particularly coming from our place, is still a bit limited. And consequently, this undervaluation of mangrove ecosystem leads to its continuous degradation. So not just, I think, in Philippines, but I think globally. So to address that, we asked this very straightforward research question and compare coastal villages, whether there are more damages in coastal villages with reduced mangrove cover as compared to those villages which retained or protected or have still substantial mangrove cover. Now, we have an exclusion criterion. We will exclude coastal villages that ecologically there are no mangroves in the first place because we value the existence or the presence of mangroves, and because of anthropogenic activities, people activities, so these mangroves are damaged. So in the analysis, we exclude those in the first place that do not have mangroves. So we collected data. So this is another typhoon in 2021. So we collected damages from various villages, coastal villages. But again, we exclude those that do not have or ecologically mangroves do not thrive. So as a just brief result, here we see a scatter plot in terms of the mangrove cover and the damages. So as you notice, as mangrove cover increases, so here as mangrove cover increases, we see very few dots in terms of damages houses and damage casualties. But if close to zero or reduced mangrove cover, we also see a lot of dots, signifying that with reduced mangrove cover, you expect more damages in coastal villages. So this support the claims and the anecdotal and stories that with presence of mangroves, you expect on average to have reduced damages. Now, sorry for presenting this big table. So we run several iterations just to check our model, and it shows across several specifications that we have negative and significant values, and the coefficients are more or less stable, robust across several specifications, suggesting that an added hectare. So there's a lot of heterogeneity in this one, but because our unit of analysis is to look at the coverage, mangrove cover, just before the typhoon hit. So we say that an added hectare of mangroves was able to reduce damages in coastal villages by around 2.3 to 2.7%. Now you might notice like, okay, I think 2.3 or 2.7 range is still very small. And yes, that value is marginal because we are evaluating here the super typhoon incident. So we exclude this regular typhoon. So in Philippines, we expect around 20 to 25 typhoons that would hit the country. So those are, we call regular typhoons, those that falls in our categories 1, 2, and 3. So we exclude that one in the analysis and only focus on super typhoons with wind speeds of around 200 kilometers per hour. So in the end, that even though that's a very strong typhoon, still mangrove cover was able to provide significant protection. So you see, negative and significant, suggesting that an added hectare of mangrove was able to reduce damages brought by the super typhoon. So from this, we go back and conduct focus group discussion where we ask the communities to map their houses, where they are located, and to also map their presence of mangroves. And we ask them whether this is true, that they're able to experience this one. And they echo that yes, they were able to say that mangroves provided protection, and they can consider mangroves to be a long-term strategy. But for them, because they are afraid of super typhoon, they want now an engineering approach, that there are windbreakers, coastal protection services. So both approach could be an engineering approach and also a nature-based approach. Because the mangrove, if you plant mangroves, it would take 7 or 10 years before it can provide substantial protection. And if you expect typhoon to be coming next year, then they want an engineering approach, at least to mitigate strong waves coming to the place. So I think I'll now come to my conclusion that conserving mangroves, so we see Philippines is now very vulnerable, that we can conserve mangroves as a long-term strategy and nature-based solutions in providing coastal protection. This would be a justifiable long-term strategy. So our next step for this one is to talk with policymakers because we drafted now for the Philippines, we drafted a national mangrove conservation, but still with Congress since 2019, and it's not yet translated into action. So this is us, this is my team. We actually did also some mangrove planting activity. So that would be all for my talk today. Thank you very much for your attention, for sharing this time for me to talk about nature-based solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Moses. Please, okay. Yeah, it is quite very tough rule for me to make some conclusion, but we still have 3 presenter deliver the presentation by offline. Then there is announcement for students. I will speak it in bahasa. Untuk seluruh mahasiswa, kelas di jam 12.30 semuanya akan didispensasi oleh departemen. So please keep in this event, okay? Gitu ya. Jadi silakan bisa disampaikan ke dosennya bahwasanya seluruh kelas 12.30 akan didispensasi oleh departemen. Jadi silakan tetap di sini. Kita masih punya 3 presenter lagi, gitu ya. Then the next presenters, I will invite the 3 presenters to the stage. I will invite the 3 presenters to the stage. The first is Dr. Corina. Please come to the stage, Dr. Corina binti Abdul Talib. And also the next presenters, Associate Professor Dr. Anurat, please come to the stage. And also then Dr. Andes Fadilah Amin, MAP PhD, please come to the stage. Then operator, can you help us because Dr. Corina will share her screen by herself? It is possible? Apakah memungkinkan untuk presenter mengoperasikan PPT-nya sendiri dari depan? Oke.
Maaf, nanti sudah saya instruksikan, nanti setelah akhir sesi akan dilakukan checking akhir presensi. Bagi nanti yang tidak ada, maka dianggap alpa. Walaupun tadi pagi Anda ikut. Itu ya, mohon dipahami. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much for waiting and once again, please give applause to the three presenters today. Then the first presenter will be Associate Professor Dr. Anurat Anatatron, DPA. Then he is lecturer in the Faculty of Political Science and Law at Burapa University, Thailand. Then please, Dr. Anurat, time is yours to present. Then our operator will help you to slide showing the PowerPoint. Please, time is yours.
Okay. Thank you for Dr. Amin. It's my close friend. I'm glad to come back to Brawijaya again. For me, our friends, because I'm graduate from PhD from Brawijaya in FIA. Today my topic for presentation is about public sector reform in Thailand, experience and lesson learning. In Thailand, I would like to introduce Thailand to you. Thailand is the kingdom country. We have the long historical of the country. We have the force of the kingdom. We start in the Kota kingdom, allow the 20 years. Kota kingdom has long around 200 years. And after that, the Ayutthaya kingdom. Ayutthaya kingdom is around 700 years. And the Ratanakosin kingdom now is around 260 years. So it's in Thailand is around 100,000 years. 1,000 years. So that we have the two of the periods of the politics and bureaucratic system. In the past, we have in the kingdom governance, traditional kingdom governance, and after that we move to we change to be the democratic kingdom, democratic governance. This next. What is the public administration reform? UNDP explained for the public administration reform. That's the engagement, majority politic rule, procedural system, organization, structure, personnel, funded by the state budget and the charge of the management and the direction of the affair of the executive government and its interactions with the other stakeholders in the state, society and external environment, the management and implementations of the whole set of government activity dealing with the implementations of law, regulation and decisions of government and the management related to the provisions of public administration. So that public administration reform can be very comprehensive and inclusive process change in the areas such as organization structure, decentralization, personnel management, public finance, result of management. Result of management, regulation, and reform. Please change the presentation space for me. Next. Why public administration must be reformed? Because the impact of environment of management change with the social value change. In the past, the people the politics and public relation is narrow scope. Only the elite and the elite of the country. But after the people have knowledge and understand about the politics and administration, people would like to come to be involved, the participation of the public administration, so that this pressure for the government must be reformed and serve to the people needs. Economic change. After liberalism economy come to be the world, the most of the organized economic sector look for the efficiency of management model, and management model of the private sector must be comparative with the public administration management, so that public administration must like to be the development management to the private sector. The third political paradigm change. Before we have the paradigm of public administration, the most of countries use traditional management by themselves, but after the Max Weber come to be the public administration, the paradigm of public administration to be many country development administration to be based on the Max Weber. And after that, we have NPM, and after NPM we have NPS, and now we go to the digital, smart and digital governments. This is the before of the technology and something like that. Governments must be to reform public administration to adapt to management environment change. Is next. The reform master plan. Most of the public administration reform like to have the five of the reform. The first, structure reform, from the vertical to the horizontal. The second, administration reform, from OPA to NPM to NPS and to the smart. Budgetary reform, public personnel reform, and also value and culture reform too. Step. The partner is the key success to implement of public administration reform. Many partners we have join or cooperate of the public administration reform, like private sector, it means the business sector, inter-community and scholar, academic sector, the government, civil society, and civil servant. All other partners can come to be the help support the public administration reform in the country. Key success for the factor to the public administration reform. Sufficient technical knowledge. Government clear reform vision and mission. Sufficient resources were allocated. New internal champion emerged. Reform team was identified and formed. Full political, civil society, and private sector support. This is the key success for the public administration reform. Next. For the Thailand, we have the big we have the T town, big T town for reform in Thailand. This next. This next. This next. This is that I explained to you in Thailand for a change from the traditional monarchy before 1932 to the democratic government in 19 in the traditional monarchy in King Lama V, traditional administration, Western admin, and English dominance administration, technocrat administration, and the modern democracy. He's saying Thailand has the T time for the big T time for the reform. The first is the King Lama V reform. The second is Thailand economic development plan number 1. The third is the great economic crisis in Thailand, Tom Yam Kung crisis in the last around 30 years ago. And now we start to think to the number 4 we call the Thailand public reform T4 in the national 20 year national development plan 20 year. I think I changed the presentation, but not changed in here. Okay, no problem. Next. These are dimensions of Thai public administration reform. Thailand is dimension the first time in the 1.0 start on the King Lama V era. The King Lama V era is the starting the king who starting the beginning public administration in Thailand, the modern public administration in Thailand, because the pressure of the social value, the most of elite. The King Lama V, he sent the elite to be the study in the Western country. After elite finished, he come back to Thailand, and he present and he suggestion to the King Lama V must to be the development, the public administration in Thailand, so that the King Lama V he development and starting to change the public reform from the royal or the king traditional Lama traditional king poverty to the modern Western administration in that time. The second, and also in that time, is I think is same of Asian country. Asian country. They show that we have 5 minutes. Thailand to Pasilo is on the. We have Thailand starting to the economic planning number 1. We bring the all public administration to come to be the management bureaucratic system. This is a strong Weber model. In the number third of reform, we start on the Thailand change the structure of economic from agriculture to the industrial culture. The most of investors come from foreign, come to invest in Thailand, but in the bureaucratic system, not the development of reform, so that you have a problem. Many problems from the public administration to serve to the industrial business and bring to be the economic crisis in 2000 and in 1999 because the business or economic development but public sector not development, so it's have many of corruption, many of problem in the regulation, something like that. And after that, in the Thailand 4.0, the Thailand 4.0 we starting on the 5 years ago because the pressure of the economic change from the industrial to the new innovation and technology economic, and also the new generation would need to receive the service, the good quality of service from the public region there, and the most of the new generation he have knowledge and He have the channel of technology to follow up government to develop the channel of service business. What is Thailand 4.0? The Thailand 4.0 is the model of economic development plan to transform Thailand into the high-income country by 2030. The plan focuses on digitalization and innovation, building on the country's previous economic development plan. In agriculture, Thailand 4.0 light industrial into 2.0 and heavy industrial to the new economic. Thailand is industrial and the modern innovation and modern country. Business. Why Thailand must be to the model 4.0 development? According to the study of Thailand development research, Thailand in the past of the so-called old model of development may not be able to efficiently push forward the economy of Thailand, both present and future. The reason is that Thailand's readiness back its holistic development such as productivity improvement in terms of the worker skill. Thailand has been trapped as the country that has encountered a shortage of the cheap labor for many years, and that's increased rapidly according to the country population structure. Business. The concept of Thailand bureaucratic reform in 4.0. Thailand bureaucratic 4.0 is a model of operation to support the Thailand policy strategy, where the government sector or the civil service system must work by the principle of good governance for the benefit of the people, better government, happiness, citizen. Business. We have the three characteristics of the Thailand bureaucratic system in 4.0. The first, openness and connected government, focus on strategic thinking, public data accessibility, public sharing service, cost community, end-to-end process, driven public accountability, transparency. The second, public-centric public management, resort responsiveness, demand of driven public accessibility, result-oriented service improvement, service personalization, happy citizen, and the third, smart and digital government and service, digitalization, innovation, workforce capability, problem solving, and agility. The key success the key success of the Thailand bureaucratic system 4.0. The first, collaboration, innovation, and digitalization. Okay, this next. What is the open and connected government? This transparency and opening government invite people and the private sector to join the public work and public service, and also open government data to the private for development business, or example, research movement, government statistic. Next. Citizen-centric government work proactive, focus on solving problems and responding of the needs of the people without having to wait for a request for help. Using government data and modern digital system to provide public service and meet the needs of the people. The government link itself provides service is on the place. Okay. The people can receive service touch many channels, like online channel. Okay, next. Start and high performance government work and advance in analysis management list, create innovation or initiative for development public operation and service, apply multidisciplinary knowledge to the response to a world of rapid change to create a value, be flexible and have the ability to respond to the various situations in the timely manner, be a high-performance organization and adapt to the modern office environment, including market, making civil servant committed to their duty and perform or duty approximately to their role. Next. This next. Thailand bureaucratic reform for possible outputs. First, participation, open and connect to the people. Performance, innovation, information, and dive-in. And proactive, citizen-centric, and service-oriented. To the high ability public administration, high collaboration public administration, high innovation public administration, and high digital life public administration. Thank you for the short time. Limited time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the great presentation from Dr. Anurad. Then we will move to the next presenters. It will be Dr. Anas Fadila Hamin, MAP PhD. Then please operator, help to share the PowerPoint. Then once again to Dr. Fadila Hamin, time is yours.
Thank you, Moderator. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. It is time to talk about Indonesia. Maybe you guys already familiar with this thing. So within 15 minutes onward, I will briefly inform regarding reform that has conducted by Indonesian government since 2000, after the collapse of New Order regime, or we usually called as Orba regime, Orde Baru regime, something like that. So in here, reform that I would like to briefly talk in here is will be focused on the fiscal and decentralization reform. Okay, next. So in here we can see that the briefly decentralization means awarding local government new power and accountabilities through three dimensions: political, administrative, and fiscal decentralization. So in my presentation, again, briefly explain whether fiscal reform conducted by Indonesia, it is already have a good achievement, or vice versa, or opposite of this thing, lead to the better, bad situation, worse situation, or something like that. So maybe in the bit later, I will inform you all about the achievement and the challenges as well regarding the result of the fiscal and decentralization reform conducted by Indonesian government. Next. So again, I focus on the fiscal decentralization. In here, fiscal decentralization is essentially the transfer of expenditure responsibilities and revenue assignment to the lower level of government. It means that there is transfer authority from the central government to the local government. Either it is in provincial level and also in the city and in regency level. Okay, next. So I also will provide briefly again about advantages and disadvantages of fiscal decentralization. It is from the perspective of theoretical thing. Next. So advantage of fiscal decentralization. In here we can see that fiscal decentralization might enhance economic efficiency, and also government better comprehends local community needs and is more capable than the national government delivering service and collecting revenue by themselves. So have to be underlined that is decentralization giving authority to the lower level government to execute both governmental revenue and governmental expenditure, something like this. Next. And also fiscal decentralization can improve economic performance through strengthening social capital and encouraging political participation. Because it will be completely different if everything managed and controlled by central government. Because we have to consider as well the span of control of Indonesian that consists of a lot of provincial government and also a lot of more than 500 government in the level of city and regencies that I would like to also briefly inform of you a bit later. Next. However, on the other hand, other than the advantage that we already display, so fiscal decentralization may hamper economic performance. Fiscal decentralization can actually undermine economic efficiency. Why? Because by implementing fiscal decentralization, it will be a long process to make policy, to make commitment, to make agreement between this kind of governmental levels, from the national level until the lowest level of Indonesian government. Next. And also become more difficult to coordinate fiscal policy in a counter-cyclical sense under the centralized fiscal structure. As I mentioned before, that it will be a long process until we end up in this kind of commitment or agreement as a whole government. It is again long process and long journey from the central government until the lowest level of government to make commitment. Of course, it will be costly, it will be prolonged, it will be energy consuming, time consuming as well. So it is the one of the advantages of the fiscal decentralization anyway. Next. Move to the real Indonesia's experiences regarding fiscal decentralization and reform. Next. As we know that the governance reform in Indonesia was triggered by the collapse of centralistic regime in 1998. And when the administration of President Suharto at that time is already finished, collapsed by the citizen movement or something like this. And also at that time, issuance of the law number 22 of 1999 and also law 25 of 1999. It has become the big foundation of the implementation of fiscal decentralization and also fiscal reform in Indonesia. Next. Okay, it is a little bit information regarding a situation before reform. That is, before reform, Indonesia applied traditional budgeting using line item in incremental approach, annual budget, single entry and cash-based accounting system, focus on spending, budget, and then not really consider performance factors, centrally designed and controlled. It is the one of the most important thing. Everything was controlled by Jakarta at that time, and then civil apparatus in the local government just to be implementators of the policy, again centrally designed, centrally controlled by Jakarta, which is the capital of Indonesia at that time. And now you know that is the capital of Indonesia is already moved to the new capital. It's called IKN. And also poor accountability and not transparent. It is very difficult to know about the amount of national budget or even the local government budget at that time. So less transparent. Next. So what have been reformed? So factors and aspects that have been reformed at that time is whole process of the local government budget, annual local government budget, that is called APBD, from the formulation, validation, execution, and supervision. This was already reformed. And then converting into traditional budget into performance-based budgeting system, annual budgeting to medium-term expenditure framework, single entry and cash-based accounting was converted into double entry and accrual accounting system, and also changed the budget structure, the time frame of the APBD and mechanism of the budgeting process. And also the most important thing, also the strengthening local government finance. So local government now at the moment is not still really depend on the central government, but they have much better financial capacity anyway. So next, I will, okay. It is the clue of thing that we can see Indonesia have very wide territory, that it is closely similar to the continent of European continent, that consists of 47 countries, and then in Indonesia only one country. So we can imagine how difficult it is if everything centrally controlled by central government located in Jakarta at that time. Okay, next. So it is the figure of Indonesia. So we have more than 70,000 islands. It is very, very good, very, very big challenges, very big difficulties to manage everything if it is controlled by central government. More than 500 cities and regencies, 38 provincial government anyway. So that's why policy decision to choose decentralization is the best way at that time. Okay, next. What is lesson learned from Indonesia experiences regarding achievement and challenges under current fiscal decentralization policy? Next. So achievement in here, there is decentralization of local government financial management and annual budget, and also there is financial balances between the central and local government. Next. Capacity and capability of local government right now, not really big wide gap with central government. Issuing implementing policy of balancing fund, dana perimbangan, and other transferring fund from national government and to local government. Okay, 1 minute more. Improving taxing power, providing a far greater financing basis, giving local government much more authority, strengthening village government. It is very important thing as well, because previously village government didn't have any fund to manage and then to finance any development in the village level. Now every village government receive transfer funds at least 1 billion or 1 million in rupiah. Next. Local government and local parliament have greater discussion. Next. But however, on the other hand, local government still very dependent on the funds transferred from local government. Still, local government still face the problem of budget deficit, high percentage of unutilized budget, and also confusion of local government official due to a lot of new regulation. Because now in the recent government so frequently change and issue new regulation, so make the confusion. It is very confusing for the local government apparatus. Next. And also local parliament members now have greater authority, but unfortunately it is not supported by appropriate capacity and capability, personal capability for the local parliament members. Next. It is very sad fact, ladies and gentlemen. So, no doubt that there is reform, 1 minute more. Reform has already give some beneficial impacts, but unfortunately, with the very big fund that is transferred, that is allocated to the local government, unfortunately again, with the local government apparatus is not really ready yet to manage everything transferred by local government. So there are a lot of misuse or maybe some infringement to manage local government budget. So right now you can see until 2023, 76 national legislators had been sent to the court. More than 5,500 local parliament members has been sent to the jail. Yeah. Until 2023, more than 71% of local government leaders, region and city mayor, had been prosecuted due to corruption practices. It is very, very sad. So that's why, next, it is the last slide. Fiscal decentralization policy has built a good foundation for local government management. No doubt it. There's a lot of improvement is already get achieved. But unfortunately again, we have to extremely hard work and serious effort are needed to keep improving implementation of the policy to reform the fiscal decentralization, because the fact nowadays fact is still far away from the ideal condition. So yeah, hopefully by hard work we can achieve the ideal condition, not far away from current situation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much to Associate Professor Dr. Fadilah Amin, PhD. Then it will be the last but not least, the most beautiful keynote speakers today. We come to Dr. Corina Abdul Talib. Then she is an associate professor at University Technology Malaysia, and she is affiliated with the Department of Educational Science, and particularly for education administration, lectures, and also students. Please keep your eyes on. Then once again to Dr. Corina binti Abdul Talib, time is yours.
Terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay. There's people say that woman first, but now woman last. Okay. So remember I think from the speaker from Philippines, they show about the wave cartoon, the mangrove. You still remember that cartoon, the nice cartoon just now? Okay. How about we do some energizer? Okay, so I want to do a wave here. So I can see how many students are very sporting to do the activity. All right, you know how to do the wave? Yes. Wave, start from here until the end, that side. Okay, all right, ready? Ready to do it? Okay, with the count 1, 2, 3, start from my right side. 1, 2, 3, the wave. Okay, how about make sounds? Give sound, woo, like that, yeah? You have to stretch your mouth, your, what do you call this, cheek, yeah? All right, again, yeah? Again, ready? Okay, smiling face, please. Smiling face, all right, good. 1, 2, 3, woo! All right, thank you, awesome. Okay. All right, since you are very sporting, I want to share science humor. Okay, science humor with you all. All right. My question is to you, why did physics teacher break up with the biology teacher? Any idea why? Yeah, break up. Pernah bercinta? Tak pernah bercinta.
Because it doesn't make sense to each other.
It doesn't make sense, yeah? Yeah, you are correct. Because there is no chemistry, yeah? There is no chemistry. So, okay, all right? So let me bring you the chemistry of UTM, all right? So let me introduce you about UTM. Maybe I need your help, Doctor. Yeah, this is about UTM. So actually we have 3 campuses. So the main one is located in Johor, the southern part of Malaysia. And then we have another one in Kuala Lumpur. And also one more in Johor itself, Pago. Okay, it is near to UTHM. If you've been to UTHM, Johor, then you should know UTM Pago. All right, so next. And for the ranking, we are number 181 in the world, and we are in number 2 for education. So please be welcome, come to UTM, yeah? And please let me know if you have the time to visit us. Okay. All right, so the main concern today is, not yet. This one. Okay, so there's a research say that, this one is from Forbes, yeah, 2024, graduates lack skill in communication, collaboration, and critical thinking. Study finds, not me, say it, study finds. Do you agree? Agree. So the study is correct. So you agreed. So it's happening because you agreed. No objection at all. You agreed. So it means this study is real. This is a real case, yeah? All right. So how many educators here in this room? Can I see hands up? How many educators? Oh, now no one to admit. Just now I asked the moderator, he said, many educators in this room. Where are they? Where are the pre-service teachers? Hands up, please. Just want to know the number. I won't ask you to come in front. Now they disappear. Now they disappear. Okay, so never mind. So this is what's happening. Okay, and according to my study, I found that most of the students are at the concrete operational level, meaning that they can't think the abstract element, okay? I have to bring tangible thing. I have to bring object. to stimulate them to thinking. So most of them are at the concrete level, okay? So this is worrying. As educator, this is worrying. Okay, so same goes to the universities also. There's a problem, not just school, but also the universities, yeah? So people are talking about these issues. All right? Okay. Can you please help, press? Okay, next. Okay, and then due to the advancement of technology, I'm sure that you alert with this one. There are some fastest growing job and also fast declining job. So are you ready for that? Yeah? Okay, good. All right, next. Okay, let's see one of the important job is dentistry. Do you agree? Do you agree? What can you see from the photo? What did you see? Missing teeth, yeah? Missing teeth, yeah? Yes. Yes, missing teeth, yeah? So actually, there's a missing eyebrow. See? Focus, focus. So, because there's a missing, eyebrow-nya tiada. Kan? Because the only thing is, so that is so powerful about dentistry job. And your smiling face is also very, very important. Okay, let's move it. All right, so to the Klaus Martin Schwab from the World Economic Forum also, they said that the reasoning skills, the higher order thinking skills is also needed, yeah? So, and you can see here the top 10 skills. All the critical thinking skills are listed as a top 10 skills, yeah? And even in Al-Quran as a Muslim, we also encourage you to think. Yeah, and also our Prophet also encouraged us to think as well. Okay. All right, next. Okay, so we need to change or need to be changed or stuck, or market, or change by market force. So you have to change. If you don't know how to use technology, someone that well-versed with technology will replace you. That is what it meant. Okay, next. All right, so the solution is, next, what to think, teach our students what to think and how to think. So one of it is, next, is STEM thinking. So what is STEM? Now the teachers come in, the pre-service teachers, I can hear voice. All right, so you know what is STEM? So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Okay, next. So when the students have the STEM thinking, whatever they see, they will think of something. Oh, what is the S? What is the T? What is the E? What is the M? Let's say, for example, in these boxes, yeah, how to make the what you call this, kueh, roti, the bread. Okay, so they use the STEM thinking to argue and so on. All right, and then if they master the STEM thinker, they will become thinking society, and they will become thinking city. Okay, all right, next, and then after that they will become thinking organizations. All right, okay, next. Okay, and also we will provide a quality education according to the SDG goals. All right, next. All right, then we want them to preserve the environment, like what the previous speaker said about the preserving the mangrove, yeah? So next, so from all the disasters, flood, and then what is that? Dryness, yeah? Okay, and then we want them to use the knowledge, the STEM knowledge, to develop a beautiful place to us. So one of the way is by using, I'm proposing to use alert. Alert is A, argue, L is leverage, E, extract, R is respond and T is transfer. Okay, together with me, what is it? Alert. Alert. Okay, alert. All right, next. Okay, so how to use alert? All right, so how to use alert? Okay, next. How to use this alert framework? So I take example, the famous teh botol so-so. Am I correct? Okay. All right, teh botol so-so. Makan apapun, minumnya pasti teh botol. Yeah. Okay. That's a mantra. Yeah. All right. So let's do it together. So first we want to create an issue, argue. All right. So identify the key issues. Next, we have to use the knowledge that we have, the resources that we have. Okay. Explore the multiple perspective. And then the third one, we hypothesize what's happening. Okay. And then next, we try to solve the problem by using the STEM thinking. And then lastly, we apply the new knowledge. All right, so that is what we call learning. You produce new knowledge. Okay, for example, you come here, and then but at the end you go out without nothing. So you are not learning. Okay. All right, next. Okay, so this is an example of the teh botol so-so. So first, the issue is how STEM involved in the making of the original teh botol. Okay, and then lastly, we end up with preparing the bottle so-so. Okay, next. All right. We also need to be creative in delivering the teaching material. So one of it by using the technologies. Okay, next. So, and also research said that most of the students love to use technology. Do you like to use technology during teaching and learning? Yeah. Okay, next. All right, one of it that I conducted in UTM is visual programming language. Okay, next. So we implement this study and we use the VPL concept. All right, next. The alert concept, yeah, the alert framework. And this is the module where they have to evaluate the pollution of the water, how to identify polluted water. Okay, next. All right, next. So we use Scratch, so along the way, they use technology to reasoning, okay, to do hypothesis, and comes to the end. All right, next. All right, so your brain, okay, use it or lose it. All right, next. And how, apart from alert, you can also prepare yourself for the future, prepare your students by teaching, go beyond that, teach more than just the content, and then connect and prepare with the future together, like this environment. We have from many parts of the world. Engage in the new learning, so maybe you know about alert, so maybe you want to do alert. Understand the new vocabulary. For example, last time we didn't know about emotional intelligence. Now it's getting popular. All right, explore the different types. And okay, last one. What is it? The last one? No, not yet. And explore new ideas. Yeah. So when you go to conferences, explore new ideas. And then next. All right. So for example, you give a scenario, a real scenario. Then you ask your students to use the STEM thinking. So you can. So when they explore by themselves, they will argue. How to get this kind of plant. Yeah. So they have a biology concept, physics concept, chemistry concept, and everything that related to the thing that they study. Okay. So next. So last from me. So let's alert so that press you empowering minds for sustainable future. Last two questions for you because I have 1 minute. Okay, my question is, what do you call? What is the difference between crown, the crown, mahkota, tahu mahkota, mahkota and you? What is the difference? Mahkota and you all. So mahkota they put on top of the head, but you inside my heart. No. Okay, one more question. I know that you are very good in English, so let me test you. What do you say in English? Saya cinta kamu. I love you too. Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Associate Professor Dr. Corina. Then we come to the interactions to all attendants with the speakers. We give two opportunity for attendants to ask questions. Is there any question from you? Two questions? One, two. Okay, we have two questions. Please help the microphone to them. We have two questions.
So, hello everyone. My name is Nadine Aisyah Narakanza. I'm from Brawijaya University. So, I have a question for Professor Anurat from Thailand. Okay, so here's the question. The goal of Thailand's public sector reform is to build an open and innovative government that effectively responds to citizens' needs. So how does Thailand's public sector reform promote greater transparency and responsiveness? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Then the next questions, please.
Check. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Karel Boy. I'm from Public Administration Master Program from Afirmasi class. My question I address to Dr. Anurat. But first of all, I would like to appreciate all of the speakers today for delivering such an insightful and powerful presentation for us today. My question is, as we enter the 4.0 or the technology and digital era, how to manage the public sector in the 4.0 era so that there is no technology gap between regions or areas within one country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. The first question is how the Thailand government doing more effective to giving more transparency to the government's principles and policy. Then the second question is about the industry 4.0, then how the government try to respond these situations.
I think for the answer for the question, your question is mean that how to the Thailand government to more effective for the transparency to the public officer. In Thailand, Thailand government we have established the regulation we call the in Thailand we call Palabo, the regulation for the electronic public electronic for the government, digital government and control to order to the public officer, public agency to follow us, and we have the eight item for the must to be. The first maybe I focus on restricting all of public agency. You should be the open channel to the people. If the people would like to asking to the service from the public sector, and they don't have any channel for like channel for the for the online channel, something like that. The head of the office agency must be have the punishment, and we have the program for development of a public sector, a public officer. We have with we call digital DGA, digital government agency, for the support, knowledge support, anything to the public sector to ensure for the divert the policy to the change from Thailand to be the digital government for the second. Digitalization. And maybe the second question maybe we can answer for the second too. For handle we like that we have the digital government agency to promote and to support and to the accommodation to the public agency to run. And we have the guidebook to the public agency to follow up all the. But now just only 3 or 4 years during to the implementation and not have the result for the success. But in many service from Thailand maybe they stop on the online already. Like the ID personnel, like fund. Now we have the project. Government have a project we call digital wallet. Digital wallet is Thailand government will support funding the money to the people by the online digital wallet, something like that. Okay.
Hello.
Thank you very much for the response from Dr. Anurat. Then, can I make conclusions that it's like the collaborative government, that in the first we are discussing about the landscapes and also how to preserve with the mangrove and environmental, and also we have this one is governments, how government choose stronger and stronger, then in the end they can make the educations and also welfare to the whole society. Then give the last and the biggest applause for all presenters. Then in the end, myself, if I do a mistakes, please forgive me. Then for the final, will be back to the Master of Ceremony. Myself, please, thank you so much for your attention. Then please stay here for the next agenda. Then Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please, to all the speakers and moderator, remain on the stage because there will be handing over souvenirs as our participations in this Icopag 2024 as the tribute to the valuable contributions and insights delivered by our speakers. I would like to invite the chairman of Icopag 2024, Bapak Aulia Lukman Aziz SS SPD MPD, to present the certificates of appreciations to our speakers and moderator. This process of handing over souvenir is a sign of our gratitude and appreciations to all the speakers who has a willingness to come to Indonesia, specifically to our faculty, the Faculty of Administrative Science, Universitas Brawijaya. Please give a round of applause to all the speakers. Thank you. Once more, please give a round of applause to all the speakers. On behalf of Public Administration's program, I would like to take this opportunity to express our deepest gratitude to all the speakers for gracing us with his presence and expertise. To our distinguished guests, faculty members, and students, thank you for joining us today. Let us continue to strive for excellence in innovations in our academic endeavors. Have a wonderful afternoon ahead. I'm Hikmah Ayu Fitriani signing out. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Teman-teman, sekali lagi mengingatkan bagi teman